At least I think we are. Yes, we are live. We are live. What's up, everybody? We're about to get into this, about to be covering this topic that I only touched on briefly. I only touched on it briefly. Wasn't a lot of evidence with it. It was just a wild, sensational. Hold on, we got a little background from neighbor. It was a wild, polarizing story. We're seeing Andrew Tate getting getting carried away in handcuffs with seemingly a professional camera crew getting excellent shots of it. I mean, I don't know how a camera crew was ready already when everything first started. But either way it go, I didn't cover it because it was just too much hearsay. But I think enough has came out to where we could really dive into this. I'm joined by Little Big Nate. We're going to be throwing it to him momentarily because he put together all the substantial, important video. I don't know. He put together a good sequence of events to put things in a good chronological order to really break things down, to really cut through some of the nonsense and talk to the brothers about what we ultimately can learn from this. So we're going to be digging on into that, going to be getting into it. So you know what to do, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. Hit the like button. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What is up? What is going on? What is going on, good people? What's going on, good people? Glad we could be here. Glad each and every one of you could be here. Before we get on into it, allow me to shout out those of you that made it in bright and early before we even got things started. Hopefully you dropped a like already, but shout out to you for dropping an early comment. Azrael, what did I say? Uchia? Azrael Uchia, I think. Or at least I think that's it. Just being jazzy. Just being jazzy's podcast clips and crafty ideas always come in bright and early with a comment. Says, morning, y'all. She says, thanks, Bernard, for the streams. Little Big Nate, who we'll be passing it to momentarily, says, good day, folks. Like, share, subscribe. Moderators, y'all know what to do. Be dropping Little Big Nate's links in the chat room, all of them, including the Rumble. I think you need like 7.5 more people. He sets weird goals and stuff. He can't go live or whatever. He got 100 people. I say just do it. Just go. You're close enough, Nate. Just fire it up on Rumble. But he want 100 people before he go. So y'all go ahead and go over there and subscribe to him on Rumble if you haven't already. Creation Muse in the building with a $5 super chat out the gate. He says, side note, they are trying to take away Andrew Peterson psychology. Do you mean Jordan Peterson psychology doctorate license? psychology doctor license because of his opinions on the web. I see that as they can't take it away, but well, I can see them figuring out some kind of way to strip him of some credential. I can see that. Shout out to Mac Globex in the building. Says free Top G. I hate that name, Top G. Andrew Tate, he presents as a really cool guy. That Top G stuff is corny. But shout out to cool guy. He need to drop the Top G. I just it's weird every time he says it. Jarrell Johnson says, "Let's get it." Absolutely, absolutely. Who else we got in here? Geronimo Red says, "What's up?" Logan JJ in the building. Logan JJ in the building says this show is going to be a classic. I think he's trying to say, he says classic. I think he means classic. I got my handy dandy notebook ready. Absolutely, absolutely. No, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. We about to definitely dig on into this. But shout out everybody. Creation Muse. Thank you again for that super chat. Keith Hager again. Rod of God podcast in the building. Says subscribe, Little Big Nate, YouTube. But definitely we got to get his Rumble stuff going and on. Got it. We're gonna that's what we're going hoping we can do today. We can get him over 100 people on Rumble so he can start doing his thing over there. But either way it go, without further ado, passing it to Little Big Nate, who pieced together some interesting video clips. For what I believe is going to be definitely a no doubt instant classic today. Passing it over to the man of the hour, Little Big Nate. You got the floor, you got the mic. You got it. What's up, man? And you are muted. There you go. I got you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, excellent. Good late morning, folks. Appreciate you coming through. Please like on the way in. I'll be dropping my link to the Rumble also. So greatly appreciate you all downloading that. I know we're creatures of habit, and we tend to just do what we're normally used to doing. But if you'll just venture over to Rumble to check your boy out, I promise you it won't disappoint. You're going to hear things you've never heard a human being say in your life. So just come on through, and I don't even know what I'm going to say. That's the crazy thing about it. But today's stream on Mr. Riley's channel, I wanted to discuss, Andrew Tate. He's a phenomenon. He's become a huge success on social media. I applaud his success. I applaud all his accomplishments. I want to talk today about, does it matter how somebody makes their money? Not passing a moral judgment, but in my personal opinion, there are some inherent dangers in dealing with particularly low caliber women. Like I call them cam girl bimbos. He built much of his fortune filling his opulent homes with really low caliber, low class females doing cam girl work with people all over the world, very strange men sending money to women just so they can look at and maybe get an opportunity to talk to them on the internet, not in person.
Now let's slow it down for a second.
Okay.
And talk about that, because this is something that was sort of new to me. Andrew Tate, it always seems like somebody just with an overnight success, they just bursted on the scene, like just overnight. I just saw him everywhere talking what we would call red pill or manospherean type stuff. But prior to all of that, one of the things that I believe, and you've probably done more research on this, you probably know the direct answer to this question. One of the things that early on got him rich, or at least made him a lot of money that really jump-started him, was he was doing essentially what amounted to a cam girl business.
Yes.
And for those that don't know, that essentially amounts to, we're all familiar with OnlyFans, and chicks manage their own OnlyFans. But before OnlyFans became a thing that all the women just logged on to and just did their own thing with and made their own money, and then you look up and you Google it and you find out that, this particular Insta model starlet makes $2 million a month on OnlyFans, showing her painting her toenails or some shit, or something goofy. Apparently before all of that was going on and blowing up, there, people were doing the thing with the webcam before, websites just made it easier for everybody else to just hop on and do it or put it all in one nice neat place. People were just going on there and setting up, but it was mostly guys. It was sort of like the adult film industry where men were running it, and then they would, round up the women and get the women on the camera, and the women do little bouncy stuff and make the little money, and then the guy makes most of the money and disperses it out and to the women, and it loosely sounds like that P word that they don't like you to say on YouTube. It loosely sounds like that. But it was all legal because it was on camera, just like the adult film industry is legal. It's all on camera. Everything's above board. Everybody is making money. Then I think what he's running into, and I'll pass it back to you on this, I think he's running into that problem, and this is probably what's going to bring him down. I didn't see it like this at first, but I see it now. This is probably what's going to bring him down. The word, we'll say people trafficking. We was early in the show. We want to try to keep it clean-ish early in the show, but I know we're gonna wild out once we get going. But the people trafficking, the way they changed that definition, and they made it to where anything that you're doing with women, where some money is being made, and if you're over it in any way, it doesn't matter if they're just showing cleavage on camera and people are paying, $100 to see it. And y'all could divvy up the money 3 ways. Yeah, I mean 2 ways. I mean, if you got 2 girls doing it, y'all could divvy it up 3 ways. They changed all of that around to where it's like they're making it illegal for a man to be the business mind behind those type of enterprises anymore, to the point to where doing that can get worked into the definition of basically I want to say basically a pimping, and then the human trafficking and then it's like we're not even gonna get into it. We'll get into whether or not the girls lying or not, but I'll pass it to you on that. You what you say? You said a slippery slope is what they've changed it to.
Absolutely. Well, for those of you that don't know, the FBI changed the definition of grape. Take away the G. And I believe it was 24. It was either 2014 or 2016. The FBI changed the definition of the word grape minus the G. And the following year, grape went through the roof. Went through the roof statistically. All these new grapes. I believe it was 2014. And of course, that was a precursor to Me Too and women having the ability to point to all these horrible statistics, all of the grapes that were happening on college campuses that weren't, in fact, grapes at all the grapes happening in society, women being these perpetual victims under the oppressive boot of the patriarchy, and now they're subject to being violated sexually. Much of it's just not true. And they've done the same thing with people trafficking. My contention with Mr. Tate is, for a man who's lived such a, preaches living such a disciplined, focused, structured life, to not do that, or allegedly not do that in regards to the women you were in business with, it's contradictory and it's a problem. And there's a lesson we can learn as men from that. You have a mansion full of these dim-witted, really, they're bimbos. And that's one of the nicer words I can use for them. They're bimbos. They're silly women. They're all around Andrew Tate. If there's rumors of tons of alcohol, bimbo, loose women, alcohol, how focused women are on getting near a man that's got notoriety, that's got some fame, because nothing's more important to modern women than fame and attention. So she's going to do whatever she can to get near him. She'll give up the goods. It involves alcohol. Hopefully we'll be in a position to at least listen to the interview on Vice. And you'll listen to a lady, and she's got her white girl tears, and we know how powerful white girl tears are. Andrew Tate should have known that. He even says he's a black guy, to a degree. And you're messing with all
there's
these.
some weird. There's some. I mean, Andrew Tate with his hair shaved bald, he looks, kind of blackish.
Kinda,
But
yeah.
when he grow his full blown straight hair out, and then you look at his brother, they got the same mom and same dad. I'm like, those are the whitest black guys I've ever seen in my life. I am taken aback by that. But one thing I do want to circle it back to, when you he talks about living a life of discipline in the whole works, but you see that he's not exercising that. It seems like he's not exercising that when it comes to the ladies. But
allegedly,
here's my question with that. If you engage in, or if you enter into a business where the ladies are your business, essentially, then it turns into a situation to where, if bouncy bimbos is your business and you make money off of bouncy bimbos, I would definitely, if you get rich off of doing that, you could say that he did run it and structure it like a business. I mean, a lot of people was putting girls on cameras trying to make money, but if he got rich off of it, I think he did definitely run a structured business. But I think the conundrum or the problem you run into is that if the structured business that you're running is a business of bouncy bimbos on camera, then it's hard to it's impossible to maintain that or rein that in or have it to where it doesn't potentially blow up. So I don't think it necessarily means that he wasn't being structured and disciplined. It just means that you're in the business of tightrope walking with a jug of with a bucket of water on your head when you get into that business. So so eventually some water going to splash. That's really how I interpret it.
Well, he's attempting to herd cats. You can't herd cats. There's no cat shepherds out there, because you're not going to organize a bunch of house cats to do anything. And that's what he's attempting to do with these women. Shout out to Snuggles. She's in the chat, like, saying something about knowing people. I can determine a lot about you from what profession you decide to involve yourself in. If that profession brings your morality into question, if you're compromising yourself, your future, for a little bit of money and a lot of worthless fame, stripping naked, sticking Heineken bottles up in your hooch, yeah, I think you're probably a bimbo. I think you're a trash, foolish bimbo woman for what amounts to a little bit of money. And I don't care if you made $1 million, it's a little bit of money compared to the fact that all over the internet forever will be you shoving a Heineken bottle up into your twat. So yeah, it's not worth it. You can't put a price on something like that, because there's going to come a time in your life where you're not going to want to shove Heineken bottles into your body anymore. And you actually might want a husband or a serious relationship with a man, maybe even a child or two, after all the abortions. But, that's my point. These are, in fact, low caliber bimbo women. That's what they are. Any woman who would get on the internet and talk to a bunch of thirsty, goofy men and do weird things to themselves for those men. I'm sorry, we have to have standards, and those women are low caliber bimbo women. And I'm sorry. It's kind of like when Tupac said, even as a crack fiend mama, you always was a black queen mama. If you can still be a crack fiend turning $5 BJs in the alleyway, then being a black queen doesn't mean anything. There has to be a standard. So if you want to be considered a decent woman, there's certain things you're just not going to be able to do. And cam girling and doing all that weird, provocative, perverted stuff that a lot of those guys want you to do. And the money is addictive. The attention is addictive to these silly, young, dumb women. And before you know it, they've ruined themselves. They've ruined themselves for what amounts to really is a little bit of money. So that's just my opinion on it. Yeah.
All right. So getting into it here, we had a little discussion about whether or not Andrew Tate is black. I saw in like Andrew Tate, he looks like he's mixed with something, but a lot of people debate whether or not the man is actually black. But
Are you going to play the
this
video where
is actually this is actually the one video that I. It's actually the one video I haven't seen. I think I may have seen the actually, oddly enough, I may have seen the full clip or full video of this.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll definitely pull this up. I mean, it's not that important because this is an issue that men need to learn something from. But as we're going to get into, black men make the biggest mistakes when it comes to squandering their success and fame when it with their dealings with women. Black men make the biggest mistakes when it comes to doing that. So we'll blame that on the percentage of black that's in him today that caused him to mess this up because back. This is my take. Back when it was like a thing to do, to set up a camera and get some girls over and film them and make some money off of it. It was a time when that was a thing to do and it was all above board and legal. Once it started getting kind of illegal to do it, and by that time that it got full blown, technically illegal to do it, he was already blowing up on the internet. He could have got rid of that aspect of his business. He didn't need to, so it was almost like, hey, this is legal. This is legal. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get this quick, easy money off of it. Now I got to throw it to the wayside. And then just do this red pill, manosphere. You got the Hustle University. You got the, all his other little stuff that he's doing to make his money. It's like, you're making money that way. And Dolomite, I think it was Dolomite. I think that's his name, who mentioned in the chat room. It is something to be said about, and I don't think this is the biggest crime. I don't think it's the biggest crime, but him, being in the business, the red pill manosphere type of thing. When you're doing that, a part of what you are doing, we can word it in a lot of different ways, but a part of what you're doing is you're talking shit about women. Okay, you're talking shit about just to shorthand it. You're talking shit about women. But you're talking shit about women while simultaneously you're still doing that. You're the man behind the camera making money off of them while talking shit about them. It's like that is a thing that could bring heat on you. Maybe it can, maybe it won't. But overall, my final take before I roll this clip is that he was supposed to get out of that business. He was supposed to get out of the business of cam girling them chicks up. He was supposed to get out of that. The days of girls going wild and all of that is over with, where you could just get a camera and have some girls act a fool and then you get money off of it. The early days of the cam girl thing, where a guy could bring a bunch of chicks in his house and make some money off of it. Like the pornographic industry is still alive and well, but doing it sort of off the record, self-managed cam girl style, they're changing the game with that to where you can't really do that no more. So it wasn't wise of him to not realize that and then step away from it. But before I roll the clip,
he's a chess master. But
let me pause it real quick. I'm about to roll this clip. But before I roll the clip, my man Rod of God in the building says, can't see what he said. He said, in my opinion, his father is black and you don't identify as a black man. Ooh, that's a feminist mindset because you're disregarding the man that made you. Well, I'll say this. He acknowledges that he's half black. He does acknowledge.
Actually, no. He acknowledges he's 1/25 black.
Oh.
I'm sorry, not 1/25, one quarter black.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this clip, he acknowledges he's 1/4 black, actually.
Okay, yeah, so I haven't seen this clip. And that explains a lot, because you could be a quarter black and have straight hair like him and his brother do. So now that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
the chess scene is obviously, you got a bunch of autistic.
Hold on. Right, let me get it from the beginning.
Dad was a really unique guy, right? Because he's a chess master, but the chess scene is obviously, you got a bunch of autistic guys, a bunch of guys who are like math nerds. You got a bunch of ex-KGB guys at the time. And then you got my dad, who's a big black dude, but also a chess master, right? So it's kind of weird where he had this.
Your dad's black?
Big black.
Hold on. All right. So that's his dad. Now we obviously just in a snapshot will just look at that and say that's a black man. But if Andrew Tate is a quarter black, then I guess his dad,
father is half black. Yes.
Yeah, and that's where it gets so weird, because I know there's people with two black parents who are lighter than who are lighter than that, or got straighter hair than that. That's where race and genetics and all of that gets really, really weird.
All of us have an uncle that looks like that. All of us.
Yeah, literally. So his dad is half black. Andrew Tate is a quarter black, but we're gonna we're blaming that quarter of black for Andrew Tate's mistakes here. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. But all right, so that's his dad. That's his dad.
Time, and then you got my dad, who's a big black dude, but also a chess master, right? So it's kind of weird where he had this.
That's black?
Yeah. I know I don't really look it, but my
what the fuck is your?
Listen.
Yo, is this shit real?
So my dad's dad was black.
You're not black?
My dad's dad was black. My dad's mother was half black. My mother's white Irish, so I'm like a third.
Oh, a third.
So I got just enough. I can bring the Henny.
You're technically black, then.
Bro, I got the hands. Like, don't worry, I got the genetic gifts, my friend. But, you know, I got what I need. I'm like Daywalker, Blade. Like, they don't. Dad was a really unique guy.
His mom was half black. Okay, so he's 1/3 black. My bad.
All right, and just for anybody watching the restream, because I already know what's going to happen, I'm going to have to edit that part out. I don't know if I'll be able to mute the music or if I'll have to just edit that part out altogether. But just for the people that watch the restream, we just played a video of Andrew Tate explaining his whole genetic long story short, we played a video that proved that Andrew Tate is at least 1/3 black. Just for the people watching the restream, because I already know I'm going to have to edit this part out because it looked like it was some copyrighted music playing in the background of it. But anyway, we just played a video where Andrew Tate basically explained that he was 1/3 black. So there's that. We've established that he's a black man. Therefore, that 1/3 of him. I mean, we've established that he's 1/3 black man. Therefore, that 1/3 of him we could blame for every mistake that he made. So let's so going forward.
What I'd like to show next, if you could just get it ready, is Andrew Tate talking about black men and how they view sex. That is another short.
Yep.
I want to, because it really feeds into what's going on. And it's weird. He's kind of talking about himself with his association with these type of women, you know, when he was, you know, getting his business started and getting the money. Again, I'm passing no moral judgments on how he made his money. I'm just suggesting, like, you know, if you were in New York in the 70s and, you know, you built your sanitation business fucking with the whatever crime family, there's going to be some inherent problems when you try to, you know, take that business elsewhere and make it legitimate. So it's the same thing when dealing with women like this. You just have to be extremely careful because so many things can go wrong. You know, you're dealing with emotional, unstable creatures, especially the ones that would do cam girl videos. I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's alcohol. And, you know, again, allegedly he's sleeping with these girls. And the girl on Vice is saying how she walked in and he was graping a woman. I don't know how you would know just by walking in and seeing a man having intimacies with a woman that he's graping her. All sorts of things can take place, you know, role play, all types of shit. I don't know. But see, this is the problem.
I think the woman did come through and admit that everything, it was all role play.
Oh, really?
There's a video of a woman admitting that she role played like that with him or something.
Really?
So
I did not know that. Wow.
So yeah. I did see that video.
So here I am right about what I was saying. I mean, you walk in. First of all, why are random women walking into your room while you're intimate with another woman?
Oh man, okay, that does sound like a good time if you got
it goes bad though. But, it goes bad.
Yeah, it goes bad, but that does sound like a good time because it's just we've painted a picture of it. He had a bunch of girls just around his house. He lived in a mansion. I mean, there's a lot of guys who get rich and they do like a lightweight diet Hugh Hefner type of thing. Like that's what he was doing. That's what his camera that he was using to make money off those chicks. That was his Playboy magazine. And just like Hugh Hefner was obviously sleeping with all those women, where it wasn't uncommon that one chick may just be walking down the hall and walk past the room and see, him in there with two women, and she may just keep walking and go make breakfast or for herself, go make some cereal, or she may go join in. I mean, that's the life that they live. I mean, like I'm not even going to question that aspect of it. Only the part of it that's a problem is, like I said, I think some women, when they the term I used when it came to R. Kelly with some of those chicks on the Surviving R. Kelly thing, they aged out of the program, and then now they wanted to be a victim and tell all. Some of those women, they probably was working for him, they probably was making money, they probably was doing the cam girl thing, making money, and then they felt some type of way afterwards, or like you said, they realized their reputation was ruined forever, and then now they want to be the victim. They want to recover, they want to bounce back, they want to do essentially the Me Too thing, get some money on the way out the door, just like the chick that sucked the casting director, the producer, the executive producer, and the and a couple of the extras. She said she had oral sex with all those men associated with the movies. She got her way through the door. She made it. Christian, yeah, I know they aged out at 18 though. I get it.
Yeah,
I forgot to include that. I mean, I've given my take on R. Kelly a bunch of times, so I didn't want to rehash it. But no, but real talk though. The chick in the movies, the chick in the movie industry. I gotta charge my laptop real soon. The chick in the movie industries, after they ran that well dry or sucked that well dry, and then now the roles are drying up, and they've probably gotten a little older, and they're not one of those actresses. Some actresses can who actually have talent. They get roles all into their 40s or so, but it's some of them, they only get the bimbo roles, and then when those roles dry up, now they want to go after to try to get some money on the back end from the men who basically they had to blow to get the job. So yeah, so I'm not. So even because we're gonna get into this, and we're gonna hold him accountable for the things that he did wrong. But I'll be remiss if I didn't point out that we know how chicks operate when they're in a business, a man running a business. He making the money, he's making millions, he's paying them thousands. Even if he said some chicks was making $50,000 a month. So I mean, these chicks was making money. But when it's all said and done, and they've aged out of the program, or the new next hot girl has come in and they put on the back burner, yeah, they're going to play the victim. Like, we understand that completely. But so I'd be remiss if I didn't point that out. Now I'm gonna pass it to you before I get the next clip ready to go. Actually, here's the next clip where he was talking about black men, but I do want to pause it.
Yeah, I just want to preface it with one thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna let that sit right there while I go hurry up and grab my charger, because I'm on a laptop. I forgot. Hold on real quick.
No problem.
Go ahead. You got the mic.
Yeah. Again, I appreciate Mr. Tate. His message has literally saved the lives. I've seen testimonials of men attributing the fact that they're still here to his message. He's helped push our narrative, into the mainstream. He's the most Googled, most searched person on the internet, a social media phenomena, who promotes discipline, structure, and clear parameters that a man must operate within to be successful. But my only issue with Mr. Tate is you don't practice that, allegedly, because again, we don't know for sure. It's alleged that you're not practicing that in your dealings with the most unstable, emotional, and at times difficult creature on the planet, which is the human female. So it's dangerous. And again, I just want men to see, don't put everything in jeopardy, so 5-8 years down the road, you could talk about how many women you banged, and because he does do that. And you God bless him, flex, talk all that shit. Salute to you. But that type of life, it comes with a price, and you got to be prepared to pay it, especially when you're carrying our message into the mainstream, where once if you become popular, you will be a target. And to be able to go back to a well of bimbo cam girl women and throw $10, $15, $20,000 at them and get these white girls to start crying, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, but let's roll the tape of his very, very brief take on black men.
And I'm saying this, I'm not being racist because I'm half black, but all the brothers out here know I'm telling the truth. These motherfuckers don't care. Black dudes will fuck anything. They don't care.
All right, it's very, very brief take on that, and we've talked about that a number of times too. We already know what's up, already know the deal. The brothers have extremely low standards when it comes to physical appearance as well as behavior of women. So that's an issue. That's an issue, and it was funny is that like for example, when it comes to physical appearance, somebody like Game Changer, he's somewhat of a snob when it comes to that. He draws a hard line. Like, men shouldn't settle when it comes to physical appearance. The woman should be more attractive than what the man. The woman should be prettier than what the man is handsome, and blah blah blah. And people give him pushback on that, but I understand definitely where he's coming from with that. And it even goes, and I would definitely go further with that to when it comes to the actions, behaviors, in a way that a woman is carrying and purporting herself with the way she just generally operates. Yes, standards need to be on that, but far too many brothers. And I don't like to do a show where I'm just kicking dirt on the brothers, but sure, that is an issue when it comes to very low standards, very low standards when it comes to the women that you deal with. So yeah,
indeed. I mean, Ocho Cinco, Mike Tyson, Sean Kemp. The list goes on and on of successful 1%.
Rob made a good point. Now he's half black when he's talking shit about black men. What happened to the one third? He knew he couldn't talk that shit being a third or a quarter or whatever. He had to bump it up with some percentage points, right?
Great point, Roddick. Yeah. Great point. Man.
Yeah.
But I mean, just history is replete with brilliant, talented, world level talent black men who were brought down by their addiction to females, man. I mean, my God, if Mike Tyson can go to jail when the woman came to his hotel room at 2 a.m, went in the bathroom, pulled out her tampon, whipped back to be with him, and somehow that's still grape. These men aren't learning lessons from the men before them that have had all these horrible incidents they've dealt with. I mean, dude, you got to be careful, man. You can't promote disciplined, structured life in everything except how you deal with females, though. You got possibly, allegedly, a mansion full of drunk bimbos doing who knows what, broads walking in on you doing who knows what with who knows the circumstances surrounding whatever she sees happening, dog. It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. And then you end up losing everything. They've seized, I think, $29 million worth of his cars and shit.
Damn.
Yeah. What? No, hold on a second. I got this. Andrew Tate, 34-year-old brother, trafficking or alleged blank trafficking. And this was in his $700,000 Romanian warehouse. $2.9 million Bugatti was seized. Something like 29 cars have been seized. Anything you make from your alleged wrongdoing, your alleged people trafficking, is going to be able to be seized by the government, just like the proceeds from your drug business and your racketeering. The government can take it all. They sit there, they watch you build up all your wealth, and God forbid you come out and start talking like he did, dog. You're putting it all on the line. How did you not know these women could so easily be? They don't even have to be manipulated, dog. These women are probably sitting there waiting to come up with their story. And then you got to deal with white girl tears. And being a 1/3 black man trying to challenge white girl tears is not a situation I want to be in.
No, well, we're gonna get into that because this is another area where he made a mistake. because he's described in interviews his exact business model. So it's like they're going to use that as a confession, basically. They're going to use that as a confession. He's laid out his business model. And again, in roughly 2014 through maybe 2018, you know, that was above board and legal what he was describing. Sometime around the time that they changed the definition of human trafficking and OnlyFans came out and women started self-managing their own, business.
They did that on Backpage too. They manage themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, if you've ever went and looking on Backpage for research, of course, for research purposes. No, seriously. Now, yeah, listen. I there are some things I will admit that I've done, but Backpage, I am above renting a girl on Backpage. That ain't. I don't get down.
No
like
thanks.
That.
No thanks.
I don't get down like that. I'm good. However, I have gone on there and did some looking around, and some of the chicks would even point out in their little description in their profile, they would say they would say independent, no pimp. Basically, like, so long story short, there were pimps on Backpage. There were pimps on Backpage because so there's that. And I used to say this. I used to say I understood the concept of prostitution being legal, but pimping being illegal. I used to say that. I don't say that no more because I see now that they're going to abuse it. But I was saying that, the whole idea of a man, if a man is pimping a woman and he's abusing her, like, the old, I don't even want to call it a trope because it's probably a reality. The reality of the pimp who got the chick strung out on drugs, and she's out doing whatever. She made $2,000-$3,000 for him that day, and he just paid her in a hit of some crack rock.
Wow.
A hit of the crack. So I mean, yeah, that I was like, yeah, that we could get rid of that. And then when the internet came, I was like, okay, well, chicks are independent now, and it's all legal, and the whole drug addicted crack whore thing is not a thing anymore. It's the girl next door on a webcam now. So I was like, I don't got no problem with that. Get pimps out to get pimps out of it. And just let women just do their own little thing in their apartment, whatever.
And
I had no problem with that. Yeah,
it speaks to the fact that a lot of these girls do this voluntarily. They're not, some 15-year-old runaway just got off the bus and here comes this nigga in platform shoes with a goldfish in the heel, talking slick to him, and before you know it, she's turning tricks in the backs of Buicks or something. I mean,
yeah, that sort of kills the whole game of I was forced into the lifestyle.
Exactly.
He pimped me. He did this. Okay, remove the pimps and left to their own devices. What are they doing?
What they're doing it more?
Yes,
they're doing it more.
But we're to believe they were forced to do it all that time. But
Kanye West said on his interview with Alex Jones that Instagram is the largest prostitution ring in the world. Instagram is. So I doubt there's a lot of pimps on Instagram. Most pimps wouldn't even know probably how to use Instagram. So yeah, these girls are prostituting themselves, and it's a problem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, okay. I mean,
it's a problem because at one time in our country's history, there was a seedy part of town you had to go to get access to a woman of the night, to a prostitute. You had to go to a certain part of town, crime, drugs, because that's where those types of women existed. Now, these women are next door to you. Mm-hmm. They're upstairs from you. They're teaching your second grader, because the teacher also does OnlyFans and does Instagram and sells herself on the weekend. I mean, our society is, it speaks to the fact that men aren't in control, and that men need to be exercising a certain level of control over women and their behavior. The culture has to, have serious penalties and infractions for people in general, but especially women that decide not to act appropriately. You know, that's what keeps the Muslim world in order to the degree that it's in order, are the sanctions that are put on people's behavior. You know, you steal something, you lose a hand. You bring shame to your family as a woman, they can bury you up to the sand and you're up to your head and then throw rocks at
you manosphere niggas love the Taliban. I swear. Yeah, I just
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what's happening. That's what's happening. So.
The Taliban know how to keep them in line. I tell you,
They do, man. They do.
But all right. So let's get into it. We mentioned the white girl tears, and do you want to go into that one next?
Sure, we could touch on it. I don't know. I don't think there's no video attached with that, but yeah, we could talk about it. I mean,
no. Okay, no, you did send me a video of a chick that it was.
The interview. Okay, yeah, sure, we can do
the interview. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Talk about it. Yeah,
that's what I mean. And I think you said in the email that I can't play it.
Don't play it because it's Vice's product, and you can get struck. What I suggested is maybe play it on your phone or open up another window and play it. And just, you know, for the volume or the sound, and then just
I can
still. Yeah.
I can just play the volume on StreamYard.
Sure, that's fine.
So
and then
so
you
yeah.
can just show a still of it, you know, maybe click to the man that's talking and then click to the girl that's sitting there. Of course, they don't show her face because, you know, when you make an allegation against a man in this world we have today, you know, you don't have to show your face, you know, which is a problem. You know, you have to show your face in court. You know, you have to show your face as you know, point your finger at your accuser. I think you should have to do it in the public realm too. What? Yes, he's got some pretty zealot type followers. Yeah, they may make some problems for you. But if this is that big of a deal and, you know, all of a sudden you're coming down now that he's been arrested, like where were you a couple of years ago when this happened? Why didn't you try to tell the story then? Or as soon as he started getting popular? Why do you have to wait till he gets picked up and arrested to now tell the story? And also,
that reeks of the R. Kelly thing. And keep in mind, I don't defend R. Kelly. I'll make sure I'll say my position again. He's done enough stuff to be locked up. He just figured out a very slippery way to beat the charges. If you go even look at the history of all his allegations and all the arrests, everything, it's like 4 or 5 times, at least 4, where you're going to read where it says settle out of court for $250,000, like that. So he figures out a way. If he can't squeeze his way out of the law, he settles out of court. But he's clearly done enough. He's clearly done enough to where he deserved to be locked up. However, he was until that documentary came out. That documentary came out, and then now all of a sudden, a lot of grown ass women who were grown in all their time, the whole time they were dealing with him, a lot of them came out to try to trump up some charges. Even though they were adults, they came out, say, well, no, he was holding me against my will, or I didn't want to be there, or he didn't let me leave, or like, and so this reeks of that because, yeah, he's been arrested, and Andrew Tate has been arrested. He's a polarizing figure. He's all over the internet. Everything he does goes viral. His arrest went viral, and then now all of a sudden, and now they're doing they're essentially making a de facto YouTube documentary out of it now. Everybody wants to come forward, and that just reeks of nonsense, of BS. It does.
And I'm telling you, dog. You know, I'm not going to turn this political, but Vice is a Luciferian leftist news organization. Most of their people are LGBT. You saw that thing with Just Pearly. They had a mentally ill man who thinks he's a woman, hosting a conversation about feminism between women when a section of the quote unquote women weren't women. They were mentally ill men who said they're women. This is the level of insanity of leftist ideology and the liberal Democrat leftist media. And of course, Vice will tell you that they're, you know, woke and, you know, they're supporting these maligned and mistreated groups. This is insanity. Putting people like this in charge and dude, and Vice there's evidence on the internet. Vice is that this guy went to Tristan Tate's and the host that you're about to see in this video. A few months ago, he was at Tristan Tate's working on a documentary, filming them. This guy's going into your home when all the while he was probably plotting to help try to destroy you. That's what you don't trust these goddamn liberals, these goddamn leftists.
Wait a minute. You said somebody from Vice was in Andrew Tate's house filming?
The guy that's doing this interview, a couple of months ago, he was sitting on a couch between Tristan Tate and Andrew Tate while they were broadcasting, and Andrew Tate was scolding his brother. You let this guy in here to film us. You brought this man into my house. It's the same guy interviewing this chick.
Oh wow! They were trying to get footage for the Surviving Andrew Tate documentary.
Thank you. That's exactly what they were doing. Don't ever trust these goddamn leftists, man. Ever. Bringing them in your house. Oh, I'm down with Vice. Vice is cool. Vice is new age. Vice is woke. Vice are a bunch of goddamn weirdo freak Luciferians. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild. But all right, so let's roll the video. I'll it'll mostly just be audio. I'll be creative and pop it up just so y'all could get a snapshot of the imagery on the screen. But you know, like we said, the girl is shot with the girl from behind her head, because so you can't see her. So it's not that much to see, really. It's mostly just the audio. But Woke Quill in the building with a $5 super chat. He says, Vice, the people who make films in support of pedos and the dangers of attractive conservative women. Wow, that's the thing. And the dangers of attractive conservative women. That's interesting. This is going to be a hit piece. Yeah. And y'all get the likes up. Hold me down on the likes. But let's go. Let's roll it. Hopefully they don't come get me. Fair use. In fact, let me get this on this. Let me get the fair use banner on the screen. Ready to go. Hold on. Where's my fair use banner? All right. Fair use. All right. Hopefully Vice don't get me. Let me know if you hear it when it comes through. It's probably right now they're just saying the warning. This is a graphic materials being described, and you should be hearing it. And
Sally was approached by Andrew when she was 20. Due to fears of harassment from his fan base, she is withholding her real name.
That's what it looks like.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous. Then that night, we were just sitting on the bed and Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried.
Yeah.
Pause, please. Andrew, out of the blue, punched me in my arm after 5 bottles of wine. You're a 128-pound white woman. You're not drinking 5 bottles of wine. 1 bottle of wine, 1.5 bottles of wine, white girls just are vomiting and their friends are holding their hair back. So please. And just out of the blue, he punches you. This mixed martial artist who could probably break your arm, he punched me out of the blue. After 5 bottles of wine, he punched me. Okay.
You want to know what my theory is? You know, okay, hear me out on this one. There's a concept called, this story is so ridiculous it has to be true. I honestly think that they're creative enough with lies to where they throw something ridiculous out there to where it sounds so ridiculous it just might be true. Like that just sounds absurd. Just a random punch on the arm with no buildup. If she would have said something like, you know, and then I was apprehensive about doing it and I wanted to go home, and then he yelled at me, and then I tried to, you know, stand up for myself, and then he slapped me. And then
makes sense.
That sounds like a logical, plausible. I mean, not that sounds like a sequence of events that sounds realistic.
Exactly.
But
Bernard, she doesn't have to do that.
I know.
Because, you know, she's on a woke network. Unfortunately, there's a significant percentage of people all over the world, especially in America, who are woke and believe all women. Hashtag. You know?
Mike, when I tell Mike from Mike and Vince Perkins, when I tell you we think exactly alike. When I started explaining that, I started explaining that to that was the end of my story. Basically, I was going to say Dance Bitch Dance is another one of those throw out something that just sounds so believable that it has to be true, because like the Kevin Samuels, I can't make this up.
Mhm.
Where like there's something in that where something is just so ridiculous that I don't think somebody would make that up. And I think people are creative enough with their lives to where they put something in there, because look, a lot of these people got handlers, and not handlers, but what's the right word? I don't know what the right word is, a fixer, or just somebody advising on how to put this out there, or how to spin this, or how to say this, or whatever, So
Well, Bernard, she's got a checklist. All right. Now,
Mhm.
she wasn't great, but something bad had to happen to her, so she was punched, and then she walked in and saw a grape. So we're checking off physical violence that she suffered, of course,
Mhm.
and then we're checking off the grape that, from what I understand now, the woman came out and said, "Hey, they were role playing." So she's just checking the boxes, dog.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Yeah. PR, publicist, somebody who advises them. But yeah, that story just sounds just absurd. It just sound bogus. He said you got big ass hands. Okay.
And of course, you got the ominous music in the background.
Oh yeah. That matters.
It's a
That matters
beautiful
too.
Hollywood level production, of course.
Yep, that matters. Oh shit! Okay, here we go.
It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry.
There we go.
White girl tears.
White girl tears,
Sorry,
baby.
I'm
Woo!
sorry.
It's okay.
So then when I came out of the bathroom, he was super, super nice. Like, from what I remember, Andrew didn't have any alcohol at all. It was literally just me. That night we cuddled and we ended up having sex, and I was really, really drunk. That was my first night. Then it was kind of like every single night.
Shout out to Hood Conservative, how he said they sanitize words to make you mentally accept the story. We ended up having sex. It's like that. There's always the loose the way of wording it, as if it's removing choice from it. In a very subtle way. We ended up. It just so, like, this isn't the worst example of it, but it's subtlety in that. It's subtlety in that we're talking about the alcohol. She's talking about the drugs. She talked about some apprehensiveness, and then we ended up, So, but that I don't want to oversell that one, but it's always subtlety in the words that just phrase it in a way to where it sounds as if she's removing choice out of what happened. But
Yeah,
anyways,
like he gave me 5 bottles of alcohol. You could give me 5 vials of crack. I'm not smoking any of it. Why the hell are you drinking the alcohol? They're just perpetual victims. This is the weaponization of women, modern women, unfortunately, and this is why you have to be extremely careful. Extremely careful.
Work, but as soon as he handed me my money, I soon forgot about him hitting me and everything else, and it was just like, wow, I've got all this money now. Like, he would just pay me a flat fee of £15 an hour, which back then was fantastic. I was making £5 an hour at my 9-to-5 job, but when you look at the money that I was actually bringing in, it just doesn't even scratch the surface.
Pause.
Were there any other instances where there was physical abuse?
Yeah.
So she was taken advantage of, the alcohol. He gave me 5 bottles of wine. I was making more money than I've made before, but it was a pittance of what I was bringing in. She's a victim, being manipulated, taken advantage of. She's been physically assaulted. How do you get all this out of a woman that didn't actually get raped? Basically, you drank a lot of wine. You volunteered to have sex with him. You claim some hit. Why are you fucking a guy that punched you in the arm? Hello? Unless maybe you like that shit. And now you're being taken advantage of financially when, how long ago was this, madam? I mean, women have been doing what they're doing on the internet, sexually for a long time. You could have did that too. You could have got with a group of women that were just doing it instead of trying to link up with this guy who's got all this fame and notoriety that you want to get access to. Stop.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and and he paid her afterwards. That's an aspect of it too. Yeah, you sound like you got paid for a service. Yeah.
So when we moved into the bigger apartment, that's when more girls started coming into the apartment to work for Andrew. And that's when I just witnessed so much, like verbal, physical, not just to me, but the other women involved. And it just got worse over time. Andrew would call us lazy hoes. I saw him.
I believe that part about calling them lazy hoes. I believe
That's
that.
abuse.
I believe
That's
that.
abuse to a bunch of women shoving Heineken bottles up in their hoo-has. Gotcha. If you say so.
Smack girls with a belt because she wanted a lion. He used to.
She wanted to what?
With a belt. I saw him smack girls with a belt because she wanted a lion. He used to.
Okay, I
She
sound
wanted
like
to lie in. I don't even know what that means. That might be UK talk or Romanian talk. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. Now,
Smacking with a belt. There's women that enjoy that. You got a house full of broads. I can see a dude walking around like Andrew Tate, just popping them on their ass with a belt, and they love it. Get the fuck out of here. Just stop. What's keeping any of you women from walking out the house? You're full of shit.
Yeah.
You can walk out of the house. You have cell phones. You can call the police. You lying fucking females. I'm not talking about women in general. I'm talking about the women in this clip. And the first thing out of her mouth was, I witnessed all this abuse and violence. And me too. That's what she said. I witnessed him abusing all these women. And me too. Wouldn't the first thing out of your mouth be about the abuse you suffered? And not all these other women who got popped with a belt and who got called a lazy hoe. Oh my God. You should listen to what black women call each other. That's the lightest of it. Shit. Fucking white broads. Whatever.
He used to strangle us as well.
I love that.
He used to strangle us as well.
Yeah. She deserves an award. All right. The cam girl bullshit nonsense award of the year.
There was.
Yeah. The story sounds like nonsense. I'll just throw that out there. The story sounds like nonsense. There is a the story. I'll just say that, and I'll just leave that there. The story sounds like nonsense. That he just got a house full of women that, unless he had guards by the door to where they just couldn't leave, and he's beating and strangling a house. I'm just imagining 8 women in a house, and this man is just beating and strangling them. And I just
it's a complete hit piece. It's complete bullshit. The question is, how open are you to believing this nonsense when we have story after story after story after story of this shit not being true? She's trying her best to turn just the normal shit that's probably happening around there. You got drunk females, low tier, low vibration. I've always called it the bad juju. Women like this just have really bad juju. They call it today low vibration. These are just terrible, stupid bimbo women. They love the fact. There was a clip of Tristan Tate sitting at a club in Romania with 30 of his girlfriends. One of them started to get out of pocket. He kicked her out of the club. She was outside banging on the doors, trying to get back in, screaming. It's how full of shit these women are. He's sitting there with 30 broads that he's supposedly sleeping with. They just shout out to dirty folks. They love the logo. They want to sleep with the logo. And for, when Andrew Tate says, I'm top G, do they really care that much about you, Mr. Tate? Or is it your fame, your notoriety, and how your fame can wipe off onto them, honestly? You know, but that's for y'all to decide.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. This sounds like nonsense, but all right. Let me get back into it. Let me get back into it and roll some more of it. Let me get back into it and roll some more of it. Yeah, the chicks, they don't care in terms of yeah. I don't even the whole. I'm looking at the question that you asked. Do they care about it, or they just care about the money, the fame, the logo, so to speak? I mean, yeah, obviously that's what it is, and obviously that's what's expected. That's the expected norm. That's the expected norm of it. But that what that does is that refutes the whole idea, the notion that they're being abused and held against their will. Like in order, like the level of sickness that somebody would have to be. And there's a such thing as somebody who has access to women and they personally are abusive and gets off from abusing women. Like it is a such thing as that. Like that type of thing exists, but that's a special type of sick and twisted. That's a special type of sick and twisted to where I'm not even talking about sexual role play. I'm talking about full blown beating, or as she said, strangling a house full of women.
This is brutality.
Yeah. Like you got women essentially held hostage, beating them. Like that's essentially what she's describing.
These women drove up to his fucking mansion in their own cars. Okay. They're not in dungeons. They're in rooms in a mansion. They can get up and leave and do whatever the fuck they want to do. Sorry.
Yeah, and in fact, yeah, we're gonna play something that where the original charge that he was doing something wrong to women, it was just proven because they had video of the woman post the call that she made to her boyfriend, or her boyfriend called her, and then she said she was being held against her will. And then there's evidence of her leaving to go pick up some pizzas and bring them back to the house after the call where she was being held against her will. So it's
kind of like, you know, the crack whores in the Cosby debacle getting drugged and raped by Bill Cosby, and then next week going to his house again.
Yeah.
It's insanity, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of that going on. But like we'll be remiss if we don't point out that he was playing a stupid game, so he's getting a stupid prize.
Same thing to a degree. You know, I'm not bashing Andrew Tate, but there were lessons for him to learn with Cosby. I mean, Cosby, you know, 1% dude, super famous, you know, loved, you know, brilliant comic, and you know the women are gonna line up, dog. What are you sleeping with like crack whores for, and these lunatic monsters? I mean, did you see the mug shots of a lot of these Cosby accusers? They got a ton of these women have mug shots for their prostitution, their fraud, and all the other shit they're involved in. Again, low caliber, low tier, bad juju women, and you're gonna fill your house with it.
But see, here's the thing. If he was doing it out of some business model of making money on webcams off of them or with them, it's technically nothing wrong with that. The stupid part of it is not realizing when the game changed, and due to some technical legal wording that technically became kind of illegal to do it. And at the moment that it became kind of illegal to do it, he was already blowing up doing, you know, other stuff, which means that stream of income could have been just casted away, and he could have, you know, not been making money doing webcam stuff with women. And so I don't think he didn't get rid of that stream of income quick enough.
And if you are a genuinely successful, intelligent businessman, where's your attorney keeping an eye on things in that industry to warn you? Where are your politicians that you should be paying and have in your pocket that can warn you about legislation that's coming down, dog? You gotta protect yourself. You know, you gotta have people on the payroll that can keep you informed and look out for the interests of your business and you. And dude, he was young at the time. This was like This was like 7, 8 years ago. He was in his late 20s, all this money coming in, you know, and you just, I'm top G, top G. It's just unfortunate, man, because again, there's a lot of lessons for men to learn. You know, you get caught up in the private planes and the Bugattis and the money and the mansions and all that stuff, and having all these pretty bimbo bitches around you, dog. There's a lot of drawbacks to that too. There is not necessarily the money, but you know, building your image and needing as part of that image a bunch of really shitty women at the end of the day. You know, and
Yeah.
I'm not one who thinks all women are shitty or all women are hoes. I don't, that's not me. You're entitled to think whatever you'd like to think. I have my opinion. You have yours. No problem.
All right. Kristen in the building says, kick the chicken in her leg. She touched my shirt. I told her I was going to have to burn it. She then followed me back to my apartment. Self-esteem equals 0. I don't know what you're talking about there.
I don't know either. I have no idea.
That sounds like that sounds like an Andrew Tate story. I don't know if that happened. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But somebody here who is Brandon Storball said, wait, hold on, wait, no, that's not the one I meant to look at. Not you. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here, though. But this is the one I meant to look at. We did all see the Tate situation coming, right? No, because I didn't even know that he was doing a webcam thing, making money off chicks on the webcam. I didn't know that. I just thought he was just a dude who had chicks around him. Like I think it's safe to do that within reason, but once you get so big and you become polarizing and you got something that they could try to take from you, then it gets tricky. But you're not legally breaking the law just from having chicks around you, but making webcam money off of them. It is some legal language to that. But he's so from that perspective, no, I didn't see it coming because I didn't know he was doing that. But he says Fresh and Fit should be on notice, but they are still clueless. Now, if they're doing topless stuff on the Patreon end or something with them chicks, then yes, I think you're right. If they're just doing a show, the only thing they run the risk then is if let's just say, well, I mean, I ain't about to get into it. If they're sleeping with the chicks and all of that and stuff going on, they run the risk of a chick saying just accusing of something. They run the risk of a chick accusing of something, but I don't think nothing is. They're not doing nothing wrong by doing a show where they have women on their show and they talk to women on their show. That in and of itself isn't wrong, but it's some legal language behind having them do sexual acts and making money off of that. It's legal language behind that. So yeah. But overall, I mean, I've pointed out some areas where they probably should have tightened some things up, but I think they have. I think they got security in there now and all kind of shit. I don't know, but yeah, there's some. I don't watch them as much anymore. Shout out to them. They it's fresh and fit. They're doing amazing programs. Yeah. But yeah, there was some things, a year ago I was talking about, they need to tighten this up and tighten that up and tighten that up to make sure that they don't have this problem go wrong. Hopefully they've done it. But what they're doing, I could see how somebody could try to lump it in with the Andrew Tate situation, but it's different. It's different.
And also, what about a man's home being his sanctuary? There's a well-known YouTuber. He's on Rumble now. He lost tons of channels. I don't want to say his name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. He brought a couple of prostitutes, one by the name of Shay Means, into his house. There was some drama. He was supposed to sleep with her. He didn't. She has her story. He has his. They went on to Fresh and Fit. And then, he starts yelling, cussing. She loses her shit. She puts her hands on him. Dude, your home is your sanctuary, man. And Andrew Tate got all these trash ass women in your house, man. This is your house. This is where you lay your head. This is where in my opinion, a man's home is a sanctuary. It's a place where he comes to recuperate, to find peace, to get right, to heal from whatever he has to deal with in the world. And you got a bunch of drunk bimbo Romanian chicks in there doing who knows what. Dude, it's a recipe for disaster, man. It just is. You can't promote discipline and structure and living your life within a certain set of parameters in all that you do except dealing with women.
Yeah.
Because there you'll find more problems than anywhere else in the world. You know, so we should learn from that. That's all I'm saying.
There's a reason why, and this is sort of a lightweight announcement I'm making, but there's a reason why when like, okay, I got the studio, it's in a separate location from my house. I have to drive to it, not too far, you know, about 8-minute drive. I have to drive to it. The original plan is I wanted to do something not like what Fresh and Fit is doing, kind of more along the lines of sort of what Pearly is doing, where it's like men and women, you know, just a mixed group of people in the conversation and having in studio conversations. I'm actually getting things set up to do things like that. So it's a reason why I didn't want to do that at my house. I didn't want to do that at my house because I don't want to be bringing people in my house. I like your home is your sanctuary. I don't even want nobody to even know where I fucking live. The people that I'll be having, you know, on my show.
Let alone cam girls, nigga.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was, yeah.
Let alone those type of people.
Exactly.
Shit. No, thank you, man. And again, for that particular gentleman who, you know, who's on Rumble now and not on YouTube, I mean, just constant drama, bringing these terrible women into your house, around your life. Again, you don't want to bring people with bad juju around you. I don't care how fine she is, dog. That vagina is.
Oh, the woman you're talking about, she wasn't even that fine. Just no,
she means absolutely not. Oh my god,
I didn't know you was talking. I didn't know you was talking about that first because I don't commit these chicks' names to memory. I don't know how you. I mean, I guess you got a good memory when it comes to names. I had no idea you was talking about that first until you described the situation. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's a chick that got a punch or two in on Tommy. If I remember it right. Yeah, but yeah, that was wild. And you know, they run a program to where that kind of thing is baked into the cake. Again, I haven't been really watching that much lately. I don't know if the Frank Castle thing is still like a big thing on the show. Where I'm at with it, I'm like, if somebody got to get put out, I'm cutting the feed, or at least, or I'm doing this. It'll look like this. If I gotta drop somebody out, it's gonna be. Damn it! I got too much stuff up. It's gonna look like this. If I gotta put somebody out, it's going. I can't exactly do it. I'm trying to make my screen go black, but I can't because I got so much stuff up.
He's a chess.
But see, now I'm messing up. Basically, y'all will just essentially see a black screen. That's what y'all will see. If I gotta put somebody out, y'all will see a black screen. Y'all will just see everything drop down and see nothing but a backdrop, and it'll just be radio silence for 3 minutes, however long it take to remove somebody, and then I'll come back up and resume the show. But that whole making a spectacle out of putting somebody out, yeah, that get clicks, that get views, that make you go viral. But
God forbid
you don't,
a mistake gets made or a woman gets hurt. You're seen putting your hand on her right before she trips and falls or some shit.
The flip side of that, there's beauty of having it caught on camera, though. There is value in that. There is value in that
But if they're not there, you don't need to catch anything on camera.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. But
I would rather put myself in a situation where I don't need a ton of protection than be in a dangerous situation where I need a ton of protection and I hope it works. I'm just going to steer clear of the bad situation altogether. You know? Yeah. That's just me. That's just me.
But all right. All right, let's dig back into this.
Well, you want to talk about Andrew Tate brags about his misogyny? To see how the media will use anything you say, take it out of context. The clip where Andrew Tate brags about his misogyny.
All right. So you don't want to roll no more of the. We basically heard enough of this one right here.
Well, no, if you want to complete it, that's cool.
I mean, no. It's up to you. I didn't know.
Well, let's let it finish. Let's just let it run through. Let it because you need to hear everything.
I'm actually good with cutting it short because basically the only thing that's going to be happening here is She's just gonna be going through more of the, the white girl tears and.
Oh my god, and
and
she's not even good at it either.
okay, so yeah, no, we could. So yeah, we could break that one off. We could break that one off right there.
Okay.
So yeah, that's probably the best idea because it is Vice, and that's the one that's gonna try to give the stream some issues. So we'll go to where we at. This video is called Andrew Tate brags about his misogyny. Now that's what they titled it. What I'm looking at and what I'm noticing here, and I think Nate is noticing here, is that he's, I guess right now, I mean, hindsight is 2020, but he's foolishly describing exactly what he did. And again, it was a time when you could legally do this. Now, like I said, the legal language is worded in such a flimsy way to where you could not be breaking the law, or you could be breaking the law. It's worded in a way to where you're breaking the law contingent upon, what the chick come out and say. It's like it's a weird, flimsy area. But this is where he was essentially describing exactly what it is that he used to do, and some people would interpret this as a confession. So let's go.
I ever made in my life. I first became a multimillionaire by running a webcam studio. So
all right,
the first big money I ever made in my life, I first became a multimillionaire by running a webcam studio. So I had beautiful women sitting on computers talking to guys on webcams from all around the world. That's how I first made my money. And at one point, I had 75 women in 4 locations working for me, which was stressful and the wrong way to do it. I ended up removing my army and going to special forces of around 15 people, 15 girls. And me and my brother made a lot of money doing that. But the PhD course.
And so these 15 girls would probably be the girls living in the house that he was allegedly beating and strangling, according to the girl that was crying in the Vice video.
And popping with a belt and calling a lazy whore.
Yeah.
I
mean, again, I don't want to criticize, because we could get into it's easy to get into a place, and sometimes that happens where it's easy to get into a place where we're criticizing a man for running a business and being in the ultimately in the sex industry. We understand that porn exists. We understand that there's a such thing as a man setting up a business where the product that he sell is ultimately, I mean, it sounds horrible, but the product that he sell is ultimately female sexuality. Though, the modern world in the internet makes it to where a guy in his own house could basically, set up some type of Playboy type of organization. If you understand what I'm saying, like, you can. It was a time when you could legally do that, and it was no problem. Like, so I do want to make it clear that it's not an issue of a guy basically saying, you know what, I'm going to develop a business model and I'm going to monetize these chicks. I'm going to make money off these chicks. They popping ass and showing their titties and doing all kind of stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of guys that will pay to see that. I'm going to set up the infrastructure, the business, the website, the whole works, and I'm going to make money off of it. Nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is when the laws changed where it got borderline illegal, he kept doing it. Where it got borderline illegal. And I think that's where they're going to get him. I think that's what they're going to get him on. I think that's what they're going to end up getting him on. That he, the whole he forced us, he beat us, or raped us, or did this, or did. That's where all the lies come in, and that's where that's where that they're trying to spin some nonsense. That's where that he's technically done nothing wrong. It's basically going to be on the word of women trying to say that he done something wrong, and he's basically going to be saying that no, we ran a legitimate business. It's going to be a hearsay, he say she said type of thing, and who do the people that make the decisions on it believe? Do they believe the crying girl, or they believe that this man was just running a business? That's what it's going to come down to.
What the people believe will also be heavily influenced by what the media says, and This man was the complete opposite of what mainstream media wants in a man. So what is mainstream media going to do? What are they going to promote? I mean, look at what Vice did with this. This woman wasn't even raped. You got a woman talking about she saw another woman get raped. Usually the woman crying and anonymous and her face hidden is the woman that was raped. Fucking Vice goes to the length of not even having her. I got a woman talking about a woman that she's not even naming being raped. I saw a girl. I walked in and he was raping a girl. A girl. She's not even the one that got raped. This is how low the bar is for, putting a woman on TV to be a fucking victim. I got punched in the arm and he called me a bimbo. This is why you have to be careful. This is why you can't surround yourself with these types of women. I don't care how cool it looks. I don't care how fly it is. I don't care, how many times you can get off, how many times they're copping your joint. It's dangerous. My son is going to be a successful, well-known guy. He just is. He's got superstar written all over him. And I tell him constantly, I say, you go to a club, you don't let a girl touch you. First of all, you don't even know if it's a fucking girl. Dead ass. You don't even know if it's a girl in the club. Okay? You keep yourself away from women that have nothing to offer but what's between their legs. Man, just leave them alone. It's not even worth it. It's not. There are better caliber women out there, and nobody's saying no woman's perfect. But I'm sorry, there's a tier of value and decency. Steer clear of the women that are at the bottom of the barrel. Just leave them alone. And right. He made this money off of them. And again, I'm not passing a moral judgment on how he made his money. I'm just saying it's dangerous. I mean, there's so much evidence of there is no statute of limitations on a woman claiming abuse. There's no statute of limitations. They can go back 50 years. There are women coming out saying that I was assaulted 40 years ago by a man, getting front page news write-ups, because that's how the leftist media is.
Yeah. All right. Let's roll it. Where we at? Hold up. There we go.
The ghost degree was teaching me people how I managed females in those scenarios, how I controlled their emotions, how I convinced them to work and give me most of their money, how I convinced them to share me with other women, why they obeyed me. So it was never so much about out there picking up girls. It's actually something else. It was more about the psychology of things. And I'm saying, look, I'm a theorist. Here's the theory. Yeah. That's fine. And he's managed to be quite successful just doing that. If he were to start lying and saying I'm fucking all,
I don't got that much commentary on it, but the wording of that didn't sound bad. I mean, it didn't sound good when he said that getting them to getting them to do what I said and give me most of the money. Yeah, that sound very pimpish. However, there are people who own legitimate, above board, legal pornographic companies, and the woman gets paid $1,500. The man who produced all the material may very well get rich, but the girl got paid $1,500 off that scene. But the guy who pays, a couple hundred women $1,500, per scene that year, he's probably made $1 million running his website. Or you know what I mean? So again, if he was de facto in that business, but it wasn't full-blown porn, it was just a cam girl, web girl showing her feet and her nipples and interacting with the guys. He was basically he was basically managing an OnlyFans. That's essentially what he was doing, and there's technically nothing wrong with that. But like I said, there's some legalese where they could try to find something wrong with it. So I just want to make that clear, but we'll roll it some more.
All these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is in America. 18?
It's 18 usually. You get married at 16.
All right. In Romania, it's 16. Sorry. Yeah. So if I'm fucking all these 18-year-old women, blah, blah, blah. Well, then he's added a bunch of lies on top of the character. I don't understand why. I think if you truly have something to say, you truly understand the game, You don't need to tell a bunch of lies. Once you start saying you're a playboy and you're slaying pussy, well, now you have a huge issue. And the issue is, where's your proof?
Receipts.
I'm the only guy on Twitter who's putting up pictures of him with hot girls.
Yeah.
But if you're not gonna kick her out for certain things, then she's gonna continue to do certain things. I get these messages all the time from guys. Hey, I got this girlfriend, I really like her, but she has these male friends. Make her choose. You are the friends. She's gonna fuck one of them eventually. Otherwise, like, what are you delaying this for? If you are arguing about male friends and she continues to want these male friends, she obviously is going to get drunk one night and suck some dick. We know that. You know that. Everyone knows that. So tell her, choose me or the male friends. If she chooses the male friends and walks out on you, you've saved yourself a whole ton of time.
Yep.
What am I talking about? I don't want to come across as a sexist. I'm a realist, and reality is sexist.
There's no sexist pics here.
Not at all. I'm a
Yeah, something happened. Looked like Nate dropped off, and I didn't even realize it. Deanie, it's odd that you only use the term defense force when it involves other men. It's odd that you do that. It's odd that you only speak when it's time to criticize another man and side with the women. That's odd. But anyway, you said you used the term Tory Lane's defense force before. Only women do that. But anyway, well, women in simps. But anyway, he's saying. So anyway, going back to what Tate is talking about here, and like I think somebody, I don't know if it was Rod who said, like, with porn, it's paperwork. With porn, it's paperwork. It's above board. The webcam industry was an industry that was, set up off the record. It was set up off the record, so to speak. It was independent. Well, when people start getting too big independently doing it, and by too big independently, I look at that's basically just means a man has gotten big independently, running it becomes a problem. Again, it reeks of pimping. It's not a class thing. It's not about identifying. I don't have to identify with anything. But saying it's a class. Yeah, okay. Nate had to restart his computer. Not about who you identify with. I don't identify with Tory Lanez. I don't identify with him on nothing. But I can identify that story was bullshit that they spun on him, and he more than likely didn't do it. At least not. So I don't have to identify with him. I don't have to identify with him. We're talking about a situation where women are either lying or potentially lying to bring a man down. It doesn't matter if I don't live the lifestyle of those men. It don't matter if I'm a completely different person from those men. If women can weaponize their tears and their lies and get a successful man locked up, that's not a good thing. And as a man, you should see some disagreement with that. You should have a problem with that, to where you're either going to speak up against that bullshit or just shut the fuck up. But to come in with carrying a purse, snapping your fingers like the women, talking shit about a man who they're clearly trying to spend some bullshit on, that's like, I don't. Yeah, I lose respect. I'm sorry, I lose respect for you. Like, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. We can acknowledge that he made some mistakes. We can acknowledge that was a legitimate stream of income at one point that he got rich off of, as a lot of people did. But once he got to the point to where he started making money, talking red pill manosphere stuff about women, yeah, that stream of income, all of that was supposed to get cast aside, because then he became famous for something else. Now this thing that you used to do, this webcam stuff that you used to do that you should have stopped doing, now is coming back on you because they could spin it with some legalese, some legal language, and some white girl tears, and some lies, and some Me Too shit, and try and make you out to be elite, might make you out to be a criminal. So that's what's happening. Like that's what's happening here. And that's some bullshit. And as a man, if you can't identify, you could not like Andrew Tate. You could be an Andrew Tate hater, but just as a man, if you can't identify that as some bullshit, while simultaneously pointing out that, yeah, okay, he made some unforced errors. We get it. But if you just can't point out the greater, larger picture of the bullshit and that be the focus of the conversation, then you in here. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm trying to be nice. I don't even know what to call you, but like, goddamn. Like, goddamn. Like you went to sisterhood. It's just all to it. You're simp enforcer. That's all to it. Like what? I've seen him talk about tax evasion and some crazy stuff. What the fuck did tax evasion got to do with this? If he evaded his taxes in the government of wherever the hell he from, catch him, then okay, he go to jail for tax evasion, or he pay whatever penalty for tax, or whatever the penalty for tax evasion is. What do that got to do with hoes lying on them because they aged out of the program, so they want to go circle back and lie and like what that got to do with that?
Realist and reality is sexist, right? So sometimes if I'm with a chick or whatever and we're in a situation, she gives me her opinion, and I'm like, look, without disrespect, you're a 19-year-old female. What do you know about the world? You don't know anything about anything. Just leave it to me. You don't know anything. I don't expect you to know anything. So I don't know why you're trying to give me your opinion, because I don't put any responsibility on you to perform in basically any way outside of the bedroom. So just shush. Don't worry about it. Leave it to me, right? So yeah, the reality is sexist. I guess I'm a little bit of a sexist, but that's how it goes. The view is completely skewed, and it's skewed because women have become more masculine in the fact that they believe that them sleeping around or sleeping with a bunch of people is no different than a man doing it, which is obviously completely wrong. Everyone with a brain knows that. And it's just a messed up culture. It's just
women in the world, the most beautiful, the most feminine. Where are they?
That's a good question. And women are women everywhere, right? So women are a pain in the ass everywhere. This idea that you're going to go to some town somewhere and it's going to be the haven of beautiful girls who know their place, I don't believe that's real. All beautiful girls know they're beautiful girls. So to a degree, they're always going to be hard to get, et cetera, et cetera. But I do believe that if you get an Eastern European woman, the idea of her looking after you in terms of cleaning the house and cooking for you is 0% offensive. Her mother did it for her father. Her sister does it for her man. It's just very normal to them.
It's like common sense.
It's common sense, right? So they have a better understanding of gender roles as a whole. So I'd say that.
And strong and rich with a nice car and a nice apartment. Whereas to be a high value female, you need to be hot. If you're nice, it's a bonus, but it's not even that necessary.
That's it.
If you're a pretty female, even if you're a piece of shit person, you're going to get messages on Instagram.
All right.
So we've got an exceptional.
No, wait, I didn't mean to go there. I didn't mean to pull that up. But
first big money I ever made in my life.
Oh no, you're okay. But yeah. So we was looking at this video. I essentially finished the video where, in conclusion, he said a lot of stupid shit. He said a lot of stuff that
incriminating.
That could be used against him.
Yes, because
they're, again, due to the wording of the changing of the definitions of human trafficking. And actually, I think the next video, he speaks on that. He speaks on that and explains it quite well. But they changed the definition and the wording of it to the point to where it could fall under anything. Like basically, they're trying to end. Technically, other than porn, where they haven't came for that yet, other than full blown direct porn, they've basically made it to where a man cannot be overseeing or managing in any way, shape, or form if any exchange of money is being had involving a woman, even if the guy sets up the business, sets up the website, and brings women over and has them just talk to guys on camera, and the guys pay for the conversation, and the chick shows some cleavage or a nipple or some toes. It's kind of worded in a way to where that's gotten lumped in. That's gotten lumped in with illegal. And apparently that floated over his head. Apparently that floated over his head. So some of the things he's saying when he's talking about his business model that he started back before a lot of that stuff was worded as legal, it turns into now incriminating stuff because it became technically illegal or subjectively illegal, depending on how you word it or what the chick say while he was doing it, so.
And the same thing, like I said, with grape and the FBI redefining it, just making it easier to hem you up as a man, which should make you say, wow, let me be even more cautious. Let me be even more careful. Let me be even more discriminatory with the types of women I'll deal with or even be around. I mean, the internet, it's a blessing and a curse. I mean, a lot of these women just tell on themselves. They'll get on the internet talking about, getting trains ran on them and orgies and I just telling that. I played a video on my the channel they just took from me not too long ago, whereas YouTubers going around asking young women about, their sexual exploits. And one of the questions he asked them was, how many men have you had sex with in a 24-hour period?
Mm-hmm.
And these girls are saying 3 and 4 men in a day, but they wouldn't consider themselves prostitutes. I don't know if money's involved or not, but man, you just got to be careful, dog. You got to be careful. Think about this, okay? In the Garden of Eden, God told Eve not to eat of any of these fruits on this tree, and she didn't listen to him. He was God, and she didn't listen. So what chance do you have, especially if you haven't done your due diligence to find out what kind of woman you're dealing with? And again, surrounding yourself with those kind of women. And I have to believe, I don't necessarily believe any grapes or anything took place, but I'm sure, he's fucking these broads and there's alcohol and all sorts of shit is going on that can easily be parlayed into something that could bring you down, dog. It's just, you're not thinking, especially thinking about carrying this message. This dude's going to war with the elites that are trying to destroy the planet with his message. Dude, they can hem you up.
Yeah.
You can't give them the ammunition up to destroy you. You just can't.
That's why I said the chronology of it, I understood what he was doing. Understood what he was doing when he was trying to make money off of those chicks. When times changed and you're making money as this public figurehead, speaking up for men and and all of that, it's like, hold on. You can't merge those two things. You can't, man. That's where the flaw came in. But 12-7 in the building says, yo, peace. Yeah, shout out.
Oh, salute 12-7. He comes to my channel a good bit too. Appreciate it, bro.
Okay, all right. Peace. Glad you made it on through. But all right. Now this is a good one right here. Where he really breaks down and explains things, and he talks in a not stupid way. I think some of those older clips is easier to catch him talking stupid in a lot of the older clips, like that one that right there. I don't know how long ago that was, but I mean it wasn't so long ago to where it excuses
2016. The first charges, yeah.
No. I'm talking about that clip where he was talking to the 21 Studio dude.
Oh, okay, got you.
I don't know how long ago that was, but it wasn't that damn long ago.
No, I mean he just came to fame last year and a half, pretty much.
Yeah, so that wasn't that long ago. But he was explaining his initial rise to fame, and when I know that wasn't even a rise to fame, that was some behind the camera. He got rich off the camera. He wasn't. I mean, he got rich not being on the camera. That came later.
Sure.
That came later. And then once he got famous on the camera, yeah, your behind the scenes stuff is coming back to bite you in the ass.
Yep.
Yeah. But all right. But this is where he explains it in a more clear, concise, not being polarizing type of way. And it actually, what he said, well, a lot of what he's saying here actually makes sense.
You know, in America, my dad says, if they want to see you fall in America, they'll do it. America loves seeing a personality fall. But what they love even more than that is redemption. It's a very big infatuation Americans have with that. So you think about Tyson coming out, knocking everybody, boom, he loses to Buster Douglas. Oh my gosh, Buster Douglas is, and then now he's coming back up. They want to see the new Tyson. So there's a part of anybody that's going through the momentum, the highly, highly exponential momentum, Tyson experience, your experience, you know, it doesn't happen too often. Most people, they grow 12%, 24%, they grow. Very few go like this. Yours was exponential. But the part that's exciting, most people, you're not 55. You're not 45. You're 35, 36 years old, which means the evolution that's most exciting about watching you is, which with the Rumble, I hope you, your life the next 5 years, you're going to evolve. Perspectives are going to change. Some perspectives are going to adapt.
Skipping ahead, I should have skipped some of this guy talking, setting it
the
up.
journey of the human,
and that's one of the most beautiful things about
everybody learns as you're going through it.
Absolutely and utterly. And that's one of the most beautiful things about being human. And I was talking earlier about the redemption arc, and you mentioned earlier in my final video how I said I'm glad that this ban happened to me. And one of the reasons I was glad is because it gave me a chance to address the consciousness of the world. There were certain rumors about me which had spread like wildfire. And the unfortunate reality of the internet is if there's a rumor about you, no matter how many times you dispel it, if there's more clicks and more interest in perpetuating the rumor, that's what people are going to do. And this ban is to a degree a chance for a fresh start because it allows me to discuss all the rumors. People talked about me hitting a girl with a belt and me being a woman beater. That same woman has made 3 videos subsequently, 3, saying it was consensual, it was a long time ago, he's still a good friend of mine. But no matter how many videos she makes, right? The video of her saying this is bullshit gets 10,000 views. And the video of me being a woman beater gets millions of views. That's the nature of the internet. So you need a mass extinction event. You need something big to happen to address it. The other big thing that's against me is the fact that my house was raided by Romanian police. And people talk about me being a people trafficker. And that's a really, really interesting one. It's interesting because I actually kind of think it's a perfect storm. Some of the other things I say about accessible corruption or the fact I live in Romania, which has a bad reputation, makes people think, so he's a criminal over there and he can get away with it, etc. Let me tell you something about Romania. They have a bad reputation for a few things. And one of them is people trafficking, which is age old. That was from the 90s. It's not the case anymore, not at all. But they're very sensitive about it. The number one crime you'll get in trouble for in Romania is exactly that. It's the one thing that they're very sensitive about. It's the image of their country. They're not going to allow some guy to make their whole country look bad. It's like going to Dubai and bragging about fucking being the financial criminal or something. Like, no. That makes Dubai look bad. So that's the one thing you'll get in trouble for. I wasn't doing it. What happened was, and I've explained this at length, I was swatted. Loads of people have been swatted. Someone called the police with a fictitious story, a complete false story. We were having a party at our house. There was a bunch of girls there. My brother and I got bored, decided to go to the casino. We don't gamble heavily, but we wanted to go play poker. We went to the casino, left the party unattended. There was like 20 girls there in our PA. So there's only girls in the house. This is all on CCTV. This is the reason I'm not in jail.
Again, that's risky as hell, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's risky as hell, but let's get to let's get through the story.
The girl gets a phone call. It's her boyfriend in America, somewhere in Massachusetts. I saw you on Instagram story. That's Tate's house. The girl, who's from Miami, actually flew over to meet Tristan. She messaged him on Instagram. The girl said, yeah, but I didn't want to be here. I'm trying to leave, and hung up. So her boyfriend, I don't know, simps, bro. I don't know if he believed her. I don't know if he was jealous of us. I don't know what. Calls the American embassy in Romania and said, my girlfriend's being held against her will in this house. Now, I have absolute respect for the Romanian authorities. I would hate to live in a country where they get a phone call saying a woman is kidnapped and they don't bother to do anything about it. That would be a terrible country to live in. Of course they strapped up. Of course they turned up. They were very, very respectful. They turned up. They were all strapped. They were very respectful. Andrew, because I'm known in the country. Andrew, Tristan, we've heard this report that it was a very cordial conversation. But look around the house. No one's here. We have CCTV in our whole house. They went through the cameras. They saw the girl on the phone, go out, get a pizza, come back, get an Uber home. They're like, well, this is bullshit. It's like, well, obviously it's bullshit. I was swatted. A guy effectively just made up a false reason and called me. Ta-da. Took us to the police station, do some paperwork. They came to the house initially to search the house at 5. By 8 p.m., we went to the police station, do some paperwork. By 8:45, we were released. That's it. No one talks about that. Tate's house was raided for human trafficking. He's a human trafficker. His house was raided for human trafficking. I have no charges. I'm not on bail. There's no criminal investigation. It's over. It's done. But the nature of the internet, Tate being a human trafficker gets clicks. Some girl.
One question I have, because I've been saying this, but now I just circle back. I got to realize, I got to stop and think for a second. Do you know if or when he stopped doing the webcam thing? Because
interesting, I've never heard him speak to that. When exactly he got out of the webcam girl business?
Because one thing it looked like he obviously never stopped is having 20 girls at his house at one time.
That's a hard thing to give up. Once you get used to that, how do you
he never stopped doing that. But was he doing webcam stuff with these chicks? Because if he stopped doing the webcam stuff, let's just say a year ago, but he still had 20 chicks at his house. Now, again, it's a situation where they got to pretend like they were held against their will. And some of the sexual spanking was unconsensual. That's what it turns into. If that's the situation, he's going to walk. If he was still doing webcam stuff, they're going to try to pin some shit on him.
But in all honesty, even if he was still doing the webcam stuff, as long as he had the security cameras rolling and he has the footage, what charges can you bring against the man? If he has the footage showing everything was consensual, there was no abuse, calling a woman a goddamn lazy whore is not abusing her.
Yeah, the way that
in that type of scenario, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been talking about the legal wording of it. The way that it's legally worded, it could still get sort of categorized as doing something wrong. It could get categorized as like some lightweight pimping either way. So that's where he'll run into problems depending on how they try to how they throw the charges at him, that he might run into some problems with that. But Rod God said that he stopped in just Pearly interview with Brittany Renner. So there's that. So that means okay. Like I said, if he stopped a year ago, then this recent shit that they trying to get him on is probably not gonna stick unless they're going. Unless they're going back saying that, hey, we're getting you for what you did in 2019, which we know is possible. So
folks can go back 30 years if they want. Oh,
yeah. So that's really the technical legal issue there. But if he just had a bunch of girls in his house, then he just had some girls in his house. That is what it is.
Yeah, there was a gentleman in the chat, Troy Stevens. He says, what's the agenda? Say they finally convince us men that women are nothing but trouble and we stay away. Then what are they, the elites, are trying to gain?
Why is he talking like the elites are trying to convince us that women are nothing but trouble and stay away?
What's the agenda? Say they finally convince us men that women are nothing but trouble. Yeah, I don't think there's a they convincing us that women are trouble. I think men can see on the internet and on social media how dysfunctional and chaotic women are, especially women that have no influence of a proper man in their life, have no influence of a father who's invested in their outcomes. They tend not to be interested in the kind of men that would care about what happens to them when they're young. They get ran through and then they just become a mess and demand that those men later in life do something for them. I honestly think, men are just coming to the realization about, how a lot of women are. And the more committed to feminist ideology and I can do what I want and things of that nature, men just need to come to the realization you got to leave those women alone. You got to leave them be. KS's old adage, buy a dog and die alone. You just got to let them do that. You're going to have to let these women go. And one of the biggest problems in the Black community, you know, we're supposed to be protecting them and saving them from themselves and all this other nonsense. You know, they're independent, free individuals. They have their autonomy. Let them deal with the consequences of their actions. You want to be a cam girl and do all this stupid shit. We know the media is going to give them a platform to talk their nonsense. I mean, honestly, when you break down the interview of the girl, like I said, she wasn't even the one raped. The most she can complain about is getting punched. And she can't even give us the context for that. She got punched and had sex with the guy.
Well, she said she got punched in the arm randomly.
In the arm. Oh, yeah. Let me say in the arm. Like punched her in the chin or something. Punched her in the arm after he was giving her 5 bottles of wine and she still had sex with him. Just everything is about making her the victim and her being taken advantage of. This isn't even the woman that was raped, and they're trying to make.
Well, listen to how you're saying that, Nate. You're saying this isn't even the woman that was raped. No,
exactly.
There's no evidence that a woman was
even raped.
It's just one chick saying that she saw a woman being raped. So she's not claiming that it happened to her. She's claiming that she witnessed it in the house with 20 girls, that one man was raping one of the women.
And now this is all over the news. My son's friend sent him a text. He's like he's a liberal, but they've been friends since they were little. And he's kind of woke and he's a liberal. He sent him a text. Hey man, he sent him that video, the Vice video. Hey man, looks like your boy Andrew Tate's in trouble. I'm like, oh my God. My son's like, this guy is he's insane. But yeah, dog. I mean, this is what we're up against, you know, the weaponization of modern women. That's you know, this title of the stream, and that's exactly what we see taking place here. And if these women are volunteering to be weaponized, you as a man have to take the proper precautions. That's all.
Yeah.
It's got almost 1 million views in 3 days. This clip from Vice.
Yep.
Yeah, almost 1 million views in 3 days, y'all.
Lying doesn't get clicks. It's the nature of the internet. So I don't get a chance to dispel these things unless there was a mass banning event. And when I was talking to my team saying, look, we have to change the public image, we have to change the way, create certain things in the month before the ban, we were discussing how do we fix these rumors? And it's hard because especially when you have massive detractors, people who hate me don't want to tell the truth. They hate me. They just want to take anything they can get to attack me. Like I said, they can't attack my physicality or my success, so they have to attack whatever they can get. So there are people on the internet who repeat the same lie on repeat because that's all they want to say. So it was actually a blessing in disguise. So there's no people trafficking charges. I'm not a people trafficker. The woman's come forward saying many times I don't beat women. Like all these things are complete false narratives. And that's why the banning was a good thing, because it allows me to finally get everyone's attention and say, listen, calm down. I know I'm top G, but you can't just be a human trafficker and run around the
Yeah, Top G is corny. He needs to stop saying that. That just sounds ridiculous. Top G.
G. Yeah.
Top G. Yeah. Yeah. It's just. Yeah.
A lot of the guys he appeals to, they like that stuff, though. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know how many black men, just, you know, not to make this racial completely, but I don't know how many black men are really like looking to Andrew Tate as like a father figure, but there's a lot of guys all over the world that do.
Well, you got to look at it like this. There's a lot of guys. This is just the factor of him just being as popular and famous as he is. He's the first one they ever heard talk like that. He's the first one they ever heard say those things. A lot of people had the similar experience with Kevin Samuels. Like he was the you know, he was the one that introduced them to another way of thinking. So I understand that they don't look at it as a concept that a lot of men. Concepts that and positions and views that a lot of men have and hold and talk about all the time, they look at it damn near as this one man is the savior and chosen one, and so it's like that's where the, you know, that's where like the damn near deification of an individual can come in if he's the only one you've seen you know, speaking like that. So yeah, so some of them do look up to him like that, but I think most black people, most black men, they hear the Top G and they're like, "Nah, that's corny. You're a cool dude. I'm not he's a cool guy." But
he is 3/4 white though. You know, so you got to account for that.
Yeah. But the top G shit is corny, And I would reckon that at least half of white guys, I would, at least I'm hoping at least half of white guys is like, nah, that top G shit kind of corny. At least half. Like, come on, white guys. Yeah, I gotta, that part is
No,
corny.
I don't think you know how far his swag, which finds part of its root in being part black, impresses other races of men, dog. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
They look at
okay.
this shit and they're like, whoa, man, this dude. You know, we grew up seeing dudes like this, and even better, you know, but like that, and he even talked about that on Academics, you know, this part of his blackness that accounts for his physical abilities, his height, his strength, blah, blah, blah. And you know, other groups of men look at that, you know, how he's packaged it, and they're impressed, you know. It just is what it is, you know.
Yeah. Alrighty.
The world and get away with it. Like that's insanity. That's crazy.
It's almost like a fresh start, clear the air. All right, after the smoke's gone, let's see what we got.
It is. It's a fresh start. And although I don't believe my enemies and detractors are logical enough and intelligent enough and also non-emotional enough to accept it's a fallacy and simply stop saying it, what it does do is the Matrix has fired every bullet it has. It's the empty clip. They fired the he's a people trafficker thing. It's been proven false. They can
actually
longer
we know now that they have not. They at the time of making this, they hadn't fired all their bullets yet because your ass was free when you made this. So apparently they have more bullets in the gun.
They can't take the bullet back and reload the gun and shoot it again. So
actually, they did.
They
did.
You know how they have clips of stuff that don't quote unquote age well? This is one of them.
Yeah.
This doesn't age well.
Yeah.
This didn't age well, y'all.
Yeah, I didn't even when I watched the clips and everything before the show, I didn't watch this part because I felt like I already saw it. So I watched about half of it. I didn't know this part was coming where he said that.
Did not age well.
Yes. I didn't.
Instead of having the odd bow and arrow shot at me for the rest of human time, I'm glad they shot me with the M16 and it's done. And I survived, top G. Here I am. And I can finally understand that it can't be repeated and it's finally gone away. If anyone listens to my content, I champion masculine, strong men who protect women. That's what I champion. I say all the time, people trying to say I'm negative and my mindsets are negative. If you call a police officer in the heat of battle, you want men brave like me. If you call a fireman, you want him to charge into a burning building. You want men with the...
Now, again, please, gentlemen, I'm not passing any moral judgment on how he made his money. But I promote protecting women. Come on. If you made tens of millions of dollars off cam girls, I don't know how many people would classify that as protecting women. Again, I'm not coming to the aid of these women. These women volunteered to do what they do. But, you know, that's an easy thing I can just like blow a hole in. And if I can, other people can. You know, the whole protecting women, you got to be careful with that, you know, because you used women as a commodity and they chose to use themselves as that too. And, you know, as long as they're consenting adults, I ain't got no problem with it. But the whole, yes, you know, I'm promoting masculinity and protecting women. You're not that far removed from, you know, having a bunch of drunk bimbo cam girls in your mansion. So, you know.
Right.
That's all. I just got to point that out. No hate. I appreciate what Mr. Tate does. I agree with 95% of his message. Salute to him on his success and everything. It's just, you know, you gotta be careful of the contradictions when, you know, you have this level of exposure and this type of platform, you know. You just gotta be careful. That's all.
Yeah, shout out to Kenneth Williams with the $10 super sticker. Do appreciate that.
Tenets I teach. We are protectors of society. We're absolutely not the predators of society. It are the people who are my detractors, the ones I talked about, who are objectively unattractive and objectively unsuccessful. They are the predators, not successful men. I have no need to kidnap anybody. In fact, I beg them to leave my house. I'm not trying to beg them to stay. I'm like, listen, the party's up, young lady. Please go home. So it's absolute insanity, and I'm glad I can finally clear the air on that one.
If you enjoyed this video and you want to watch the entire podcast.
All right.
Yeah, now for the gentleman in the chat, I literally just said they volunteered. I literally just said that. So yeah, they volunteered. They're not victims. But, you know, you also can't claim to be quote unquote protecting women with a bunch of drunk, you know, 19, 20-year-old girls in your house that you're fucking and putting on the internet. Come on now. You got to be careful. Got to be careful.
Yeah, there's a when you're talking about, I'm all for men protecting women and doing this, but then, you're doing the Playboy thing. You're technically not putting them in any harm doing the Playboy thing
no
with
harm.
a bunch of women in your house and the whole works and everything.
But you're not protecting them either. Let's not.
Yeah, he's bare minimum. He's bare minimum neutral to protection. I mean, that's but yeah, but I don't think he's hurt. I don't think he's hurting them by doing that.
No, they're hurting themselves. He's not hurting them.
Yeah,
they volunteered and they're hurting
of your
themselves.
view. You view, because I remember you said it before. Most protection is preventative. It's with guidance.
Yes,
and,
and 98%
you
of protection is proper advisement. Yes.
Yeah, and so I think in your view that a man, guiding and advising women, he would guide them and advise them to not be webcam whores, basically.
But men aren't obligated to do that with every woman.
They're not obligated to do that, but that doesn't fit within your paradigm of what protection of a woman is if you're doing that.
Exactly.
I got it. I got you. I understand how you think and how you process that. But somebody from the chat will look at that and try to make it seem like you're saying he's abusing them, that's not what you were saying, though.
No, they're adults. They drove to the mansion.
Yeah.
That they weren't chained to a radiator. Okay, they're doing what they want to do, and they leave when they want to leave, and then they're left with all those empty feelings and then regret, and then they want to blame people for it. No, I'm not. I'm not making any excuses for them. Not at all. I'm talking about the steps he should take to keep himself safe and safe from all the drawbacks that can come with, dealing with those kind of women on a regular basis. That's all.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we have arrived at the end of the clips. I think it was only one more that you had up, but I think we've already essentially covered it and already beat it to death. I think it was one time where he was talking it's probably
get her the benefits of being a cam girl or whatever.
Yeah, and like I've said a million times on broken record now, there's a slippery slope, and rather not, if a guy is running a cam girl business, whether or not he's full-blown illegally pimping or sex trafficking or whatever it is, it's a slippery slope in that, to the point to where you shouldn't even do it. But I think he started before that slippery slope became a thing. And Indeed. When it became a slippery slope, he was supposed to stop. And I don't think he did. And I think, again, that's my conclusion with this. I think that's how they might be able to get him on some slippery slope shit. But
now, what I wonder is, if they can get him, what effect will that have on men coming forward and speaking up? The next guy on deck that would get that kind of notoriety and attention. KS had it. Things happened in his life. Andrew Tate was next up to bat. He's got it. We see what he's going through. This is going to send a chilling effect through, the minds of men. Like, should I even come out and take these stances? What's in my past that they can dig up?
Yeah, if one of them died and then the other one was imprisoned, I mean, I don't mean to go.
It's not boding well.
I don't mean to go full civil rights movement on this. They killing all of our heroes. It's like, no, I don't want to go out there with it.
Yeah, I didn't go there with it, but
damn,
you gotta take into account the risks involved with just trying to speak up. My son and I were talking last night, and he said that just Pearly Things
one of the best
on No Jumper, and she's been banned off TikTok.
Oh wow! So she's been banned.
And do you know why? Do you want to know why?
Why?
This is insane. It's in the interview with Andrew Tate. She tells a story about a woman who she was talking to in an interview on the street, The woman got angry, smacked the microphone out of her hand, which is a fucking assault that she could be arrested for.
Wait, hold on. Back up. I was reading the comment and I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem. I'll repeat it. Just Pearly Things, the interview with Andrew Tate. Just Pearly Things tells a story about she was interviewing a lady on the street. The lady got angry, smacked the microphone out of her hand, which is a battery, and she can go to jail for that. And Just Pearly Thing called her a big effing whale, I think. Called her an effing whale.
Okay.
TikTok banned her for calling the woman an effing whale. The woman's not banned for the crime she committed against Just Pearly Things. But Just Pearly Things been banned on TikTok now because she called a woman a fucking whale that physically assaulted her. This is the state of insanity we're in with the left, with woke culture, with what you can't say and do. They're sending such clear messages to people of what you can. Look at the lengths we go to not to offend the algorithm on YouTube. You can't say grape. You won't say you have to say people trafficking. We're forcing ourselves, we're conditioning ourselves to play into this game. And we all do it. I do it, but I've lost a couple of channels, but a lot of us are still doing it. We're training ourselves not to speak our minds and do the things we're supposed to do. So no matter what you think about Just Pearly Things, she's done the work. She's talented, even though she's just regurgitating, but she puts all the elements in place to make it something that's very entertaining. Yeah. And now she's banned off TikTok because she called.
Was it Twitter or TikTok?
A whale.
Twitter or TikTok?
What's that?
You said she's banned on TikTok. Okay, I thought you thought it was Twitter because she banned on TikTok.
Yes, she is banned on TikTok now. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's a funny story. A giraffe was assaulted by a whale. I just that's where my mind went. I'm just imagining to it if the chick she was talking to was some big fat chick and Pearly is like 6'1" or some shit. It's like I just bet the optics just look funny. The big old fat chick assaulting a 6'1" chick. But anyway,
insane, man. I mean, there's a guy named Sneeko that my son is real fond of, and Sneeko's been plugged in with Fresh and Fit and all these guys now, and he had 1 million subscriber channel on YouTube, and they banned him for almost nothing. They didn't like what he said. No, he didn't curse. He didn't assault anybody. They didn't like what he said. He took 1 million subscriber channel from this young man. He's gone to Rumble. He's doing really well now on Rumble. He had Just Pearly Things on. He's got like 8,000-9,000 people in his chat, when he speaks. Andrew Tate had 127,000 live listeners in his Rumble, his initial Rumble stream. So, thank God that there are options now. And please subscribe to Nate's Rumble so I can do what I need to do over there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For the first time in my life, I'll get a Rumble. They call it a Rumble rant instead of a super chat. You'll actually be able to Rumble rant Little Big Nate. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. But all right, we'll roll this one. I mean, this is one we should have played earlier, but this is the last thing that was on deck. Then we probably going to be wrapping things up in a little bit. But let's go.
Jobs a woman can have is be a cam girl. I have 19-year-old girls making $50,000 a month. No man's touching them. Not a single man touches them. I had a girl who worked for me who was a virgin. I have girls who work for me who are married with 3 kids. These are people who are completely not living degenerate lives. They're not in the club. They're not doing drugs. They're not fucking nobody. They're sitting there with their tits out on a computer. The only difference between her and a girl in a normal office is she has no bra on, and she gets paid 20 times the money. What the fuck?
You do strike me as being extremely high IQ.
Yeah, and it's hard to argue with me.
Turned me into a cam girl. So.
All right.
Bernard, I can argue with him.
Go ahead, have at it.
I can argue with him on that.
Go ahead.
All right, so you got this girl. All right, she's
hold on. I think somebody's asking what's your Rumble name. Just go if you got Rumble, if you logged into Rumble, not ask.
The Little Big Nate Show.
Yes, just type in
all one word, the Little Big Nate Show, all one word. All I need is 7 more people. and I'll be streaming on there.
Very, very easy to find. Like I went on there and I typed in Little Big Nate show. I think I might have just typed in Little Big Nate without all one. It wasn't all one word, and I left off show, and he still popped up. So he's easy to find. So he's easy to find on there. Just type it in, and it popped right up. But go ahead.
I take issue with that because, okay, all she does is show her tits. That's not all these girls are doing. Again, they're volunteering to do this shit, and we all know the more outrageous, the more outlandish the man asks these females to do, the more money he's willing to pay. These women get addicted to the money, and they're going to do it. Again, imagine 10 years from now, this 22-year-old woman, she's 32. She's a single mom, and her 8-year-old son is in 3rd grade, and his friend brings up a video of his mother shoving a Heineken bottle up in her. This is his fucking mother. What kind of psychological trauma is that boy or that girl going to go through? It's not that simple, dog. And again, this may sound like a moral judgment. I'm just telling people to consider what you do before you do it. You know, money, of course, has its allure, and there's great things you can do with money, but there are certain things that aren't just worth it. You know, again, he makes his money, you know, salute to him. But, you know, I go back to this whole protecting women thing. You know, these women are making very bad decisions that are going to affect their futures, you know. And a lot of these women they're just disposable, you know, in these industries, you know. Although this isn't prostitution, it really bumps up against the line of it, you know.
Yeah, it's slippery slope. And that's again, I keep broken record. They're going to end up getting him if they get him. They're going to end up getting him on that slippery slope, I think. But go ahead.
Indeed. Now, what happens when I'm some weirdo in I don't know, Tampa, Florida? I've spent $20,000 on this broad, and now she won't talk to me. Maybe I should go to the internet and find where she lives. Maybe I should pay her a visit. Isn't that what happened to Mercedes Moore? Some guy she was scamming and fucking with and playing games with came to her house, strangled her to death, and killed himself. There are consequences to messing with men like this. Now, of course, most of the time there won't be a problem, but
careful with mess. What do you mean messing the woman? Okay, what do you mean by messing with men like this? You just mean
playing this game with men where I do all this weird sexual shit for money on the internet. Some of these guys are going to want the real thing. They're just gonna, and they see the investment they've made in you as a woman, and they want a return on said investment. And are you prepared to give them their return when they show up at your house 1 o'clock in the morning? What are you going to do? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the women that would ponder doing this shit, you really may want to think it through. That's all I'm saying. But the ones who do it, you do it, and you just deal with the consequences of it. That's all.
You know what? I'll say this. It's funny, I never really thought about it, even though it was a viral story that happened with the Mercedes Moore chick. It's funny, you remember all their names. I don't even remember these people's names. I'll be forgetting about them. But yeah, that is true with how easy it is to look somebody up nowadays. If you're a chick that got a whole endless barrage of guys paying you money to see your toenails and nipples and stuff, eventually a crazy person is going to investigate further and find out where you live. I mean, it's so easy to stalk somebody nowadays.
And then these women, they, you know, just like a stripper, they feed into your emotions. You think the stripper cares about you. These women, dude, I've seen women just in this space do that with niggas. Oh, I'm serious. You leading dudes that are dropping 100 and 200 and 500 to some of these ladies.
All right, man. I listen. I said I was done.
Okay, you want me to get out of there? I'm sorry.
I said I was done talking about women and the guys.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've had to. I spoke now, and I'm forever holding my peace on my opinion on that subject.
I'm just saying though that
free market, people do what they do, and I can't control it, and I don't. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
but a woman's, what is it? Like her subtleties. Like women know how to manipulate men with a smile, with making sure their sweaters zippered down just far enough. And these women on these webcams, they're developing with some of these dudes, they're developing full-on relationships with them, even though they don't realize it. Full-on fucking relationships. These dudes will get home, they'll start their dinner, they'll fire up their computer and fire up their webcam girl, and they're in a fucking relationship with her. And to be honest, they paid for it. They've paid for a relationship. And some of them think, hey, this is my girl. So I've seen even dudes in the chats with some of these women act like that. So, but I won't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, Nick Taylor, that wasn't a get the channel flagged issue. That ain't the issue of getting the channel flagged. It's just I just have very little to say about all of that. And some people do try to. I mean, there are some women that actually did come up out of this space, out of the heart, right from the core of the Black manosphere and blew up. I really only one that really blew up like that, I would say. You know, Crimson Cure, she basically had to figure out a way to escape the Black manosphere algorithm and get out into Black YouTube algorithm before she blew up. It was only one. Jessica X, who really just went panel hopping and then start going live and then blew up and got big, and you could accuse that. A lot of the other ones, they came up in just a larger YouTube or Black YouTube algorithm. And so I don't like when guys of this space get blamed for, you know, these women's success. It's just Black YouTube, which is full of a lot of simps. Put it like that, full of a lot of simps. And some of them make content that I can respect, and some of it is it's just the simping shit that's going on. But either way, I'm through with it. I'm through talking about it.
Understood. And shout out to Juzzilla. It's womanly wilds, like wild.
Yeah, feminine wilds is what.
I mean, that it's so incredibly powerful. And then you got this dream girl, bare-breasted, willing to do whatever you'll tell her to do for enough money. These dudes actually think they're in relationships with these women, and they can come visit you when you're not wanting them to. I'm telling you. So it's not as clean and as, you know, free from issues and problems as Mr. Tate tried to explain it to that lady. I'm sorry. It's just not. There's a lot of problems involved in doing that shit. There just is.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't draw as hard line on it as you do, because, you know, again, free people going to do what they're going to do, but at the same time, it's not as safe of an enterprise as he tried to make it out to be. So you are absolutely you are right in that. You are right in that. That's where you got why you had an issue with him talking about protecting women. It's like if you're running a business where you got women doing that, you are helping facilitate what could potentially put them in the line of fire. So
absolutely.
I got you. I understand your thought process on that. But all right. We about to wrap this thing up. This was definitely a good show. This was a needed show to really hash out this whole Andrew Tate situation. I think we got good clarity on it. So that's good. Hey, RM who made it in late. RM showed up after she got out of church. She's in the back right now. Stay there, because I gotta explain something to you. But I gotta see if this. Just stay there after the show. Just stay there after the show. I've got to dot some I's and cross some T's on some stuff. We'll talk about it. What else? Make sure y'all go subscribe to Nate on Rumble. Nate, drop that in there one more time.
I'm having computer problems, so I'm not even going to try to do that. But if you go to Rumble, The Little Big Nate Show, and boom, it comes up. I do have a Black Manosphere Meetup announcement too.
Oh yes, do that. And RM, where you go? RM just left the back. All right. But go ahead. Go ahead and announce that. Go ahead and
all
announce
right.
that.
Well, you know, we're lining up a lot of incredible talent at the Black Manosphere Meetup. Okay, Dirty Folks is coming. It's confirmed. He's also going to be playing a really, interesting role at the Black Manosphere Meetup. And also he'll have a vendor table selling all of his books. He's a prolific published author. I didn't know that until I spoke to him. But there's a gentleman yesterday who announced on his channel that he's coming to the Black Manosphere meetup. Another member of this magnificent Illinois delegation, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Fuck Child Support. On his show, I was in the chat, and he just decided to tell him. He said, yeah, you'll be able to meet me. I'll be speaking. I'll have a vendor table at the Black Manosphere meetup. So, yes, you'll be able to meet Mr. Palmer, Fuck Child Support. He'll be speaking. He'll be playing an awesome role at the Black Manosphere meetup. And be on the lookout for the ad campaign that'll be starting soon, and a lot of other names that you'll hear. It's going to be a really magnificent event. I want, we all, hopefully most of us had good Christmases when we were children. Hope plenty of you brothers had good Christmases that you can look back to with fondness, when you were a child. And, if you'll remember back to when you were 8, 9, 10 years old, and the eager anticipation that you had for Christmas morning, you'd wake your mom up. If you were lucky, you got to wake your dad up too, or whoever your mom was seeing at that time.
Oh shit! That's bad.
You'd be up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. You wake them up, go downstairs, and they're proud they were able to purchase these gifts for you. And it's an awesome day, even though I don't celebrate Christmas, but I do appreciate the day, the food, the family. That's always wonderful. Well, as a grown man, you're going to look forward to the Black Manosphere meetup with that same eager anticipation as you used to look to Christmas with as a child. I promise you. You're going to see testimonials from the men that came there speaking for themselves about what it meant to them, what it did for them. And, just be on the lookout for all this stuff coming. There's a lot of stuff coming within the next few months, just be on the lookout for it. But shout out to Mr. Palmer. He will be there. Let me say this also. I spoke to Black Ram 312. We talked on the phone for almost an hour.
Okay.
What a magnificent man. He is awesome. When I was growing up in New York, my mom used to listen to like the midnight jams on WBLS, and the nigga that was the announcer, just had the smoothest, butteriest voice. Same with this nigga, man. Black Ram is off the chain. We spoke, and I'll let you know, there are some extenuating circumstances that might prevent him from coming, but there is a chance he could come if he's able to. And he's in full support of it. He loves the idea of it. And I'm still going to do everything I can to try to get him there. But hope, it all depends on the circumstances that are surrounding his life right now. So if it can all be in the cards and happen, he says he'll be there, but there is a chance it might not happen, but he is in full support of it. You'll see the ads on his channel for the Black Manosphere meetup also too. A lot of big stuff coming. You gentlemen get ready, set aside your shekels, and just be ready when the website launches towards the end of the month, where you can register. Again, all I ask is that you can agree with me at least 51% of the time. That would make you a like-minded man. You don't have to agree with me more than that. Even though I know you already do. You just might not want to admit it, because Nate rubs people the wrong way. But so what? Come and be a part of this, because we're going to close those doors and discuss how we're going to handle our affairs not as Black people, not as the Black community, but as competent, productive, family-oriented Black men. We are the best. We are a group of the best and brightest Black men in this country, this specific group of men. These are some of the most successful Black men outside of the realm of entertainment and athletics. This is leaning right politically is where you're going to find, I guarantee you, per capita, there are more successful Black entrepreneurs among Black conservatives and Republicans independents and center right men than anywhere else. You know, we're invested in this country. We want to succeed. We don't sit around complaining about things that we really don't have any control over, like whether or not another group of men likes us or not, which is insanity. So if you really want to get in tune and be privy to what we're looking to accomplish, it won't be streamed. You know, on the first one, I got emails from brothers, hey, man, why don't you stream it? I would reply them into the email. You know, it would be nice if we could do that, but this is a private event, and we're discussing things that aren't for public consumption. We're discussing how we're going to move forward, how no one in this country is going to speak for us but us. The left isn't going to speak for us. Black women, liberal black women will not speak for us. White liberals will not speak for us. None of these people are going to speak for us. Greg Mathis and Mark Lamont Hill, Mr. Men Can Have Babies, they don't speak for us. Al Sharpton doesn't speak for us. We're going to speak for us. For the first time in our country's history, these types of black men will speak for themselves. And the men that we're getting to come to this event, you know, I estimate maybe 100 to 300 manosphere men may come, but little Big Nate does things a little bit differently. I'm casting a net out far beyond the black manosphere. I'm going into black conservative groups on Facebook, on Instagram, groups on Twitter of right-leaning black, you know, independent thought men, the men that so often are ridiculed and insulted and disrespected because they simply think for themselves. The kind of black men that end up, quote unquote, leaving the black community because they, you know, they study hard, they handle their business, they want to get good grades, and they're ridiculed for that. For the first time in these men's lives, and there's hundreds of thousands of these black men that have, quote unquote, had to leave. For the first time in their life, they're going to come somewhere with a majority, where all the people celebrating them are black men. They've never experienced that before. They can only get celebrated oftentimes going elsewhere. For the first time in their lives, they're going to be celebrated by us. So make sure you come.
All right. Good stuff, Nate. Good stuff. Again, everybody who's on the show, and RM Stater in the back, but everybody who supported the stream, contributed in any way, shape, or form, I do greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Again, the last appeal, go subscribe to Little Big Nate on Rumble with just a few clicks to get it started and set up. Y'all know how to do it. Go over there, subscribe. The search engine is amazing. Just type in Little Big Nate when you get on Rumble. Type in the Little Big Nate Show. It'll pop right up. Go subscribe to Little Big Nate on Rumble. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.